Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Spring 2025 AUC Graduate Commencement. Congratulations to all of you on your hard work these past years. And to the parents, families, and friends here, thank you for supporting these graduates. There are two notes before we begin the ceremony. First, please silence all cell phones. Secondly, Please stay seated for the entire duration of the ceremony and avoid disrupting your fellow guests as a sign of respect to the students graduating here today. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony. مرحبا بكم في حفل تخرج النصف السنوي للجامعة الأمريكية. نهنئكم جميعاً على العمل المضني الذي بذلتموه طوال السنوات الماضية. ونتوجه بجزيل الشكر للآباء والعائلات والأصدقاء على الدعم الذي قدموه لهؤلاء الخريجين. قبل بدء مراسم الحفل، نرجو من سيادتكم إغلاق هواتفكم المحمولة والبقاء في مقاعدكم حتى نهاية الحفل كي نتمكن من الاستمتاع بالحفل معاً. نتوجه لكم بجزيل الشكر ونأمل أن تستمتعوا بالحفل. I'm now pleased to welcome President Dalal to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hanadi. Excuse me for a minute. I'm just trying to find my page. Can someone please? Yes. There is a missing page. Thank you. Your Excellency, Hassan Al-Khatib, Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade, Your Excellencies, representatives of the Egyptian government, esteemed ambassadors and foreign ministers, colleagues from the faculty and administration of AUC, families and friends of our graduating class, and above all, our dear students graduating tonight. Good evening and welcome to the 2025 Graduate Commencement of the American University in Cairo. Graduates, this is one of the most meaningful moments on our calendar, and with good reason. Tonight is a milestone and the recognition of the work you have done and the path you are shaping. On behalf of our entire AUC community, congratulations. We can clap. You came to AUC with experience as researchers and professionals in your fields. During your time here, you were invited to slow down, re-examine problems, and engage with competing perspectives. You deepened your inquiry, sharpened your tools, refined your methodologies, and engaged in debates that matter. You contributed knowledge that connects insight to impact. We are proud of all that you've achieved, and we are confident in your ability to lead with clarity, humility, and resolve. This is why we do what we do, because in your work and in your example, we see the possibility of thoughtful leadership and meaningful change. Let's take a moment to recognize the people who supported you along the way. Graduates, please stand. Turn to your families, friends, and professors and give them a round of applause. Please be seated. Every candidate here has met rigorous academic standards, reviewed and approved by the faculty. And tonight, We are proud to confer PhDs on 2 students in applied sciences with specialization in biotechnology and global public health. We are awarding master's degrees to 105 candidates across a range of disciplines. We are grateful to the students who contributed to this year's class gift. Graduates wearing the blue sash, please stand up for recognition. Please be seated. Thank you for giving back to your alma mater. As you take your seats, look at the chairs in front of you. Each carries a message of support from proud alumni, parents, and friends. Share a Chair is an initiative by our Office of Alumni Engagement to strengthen our community ties and support student scholarships. The bonds and support of our community are part of what defines AUC, and I want to pause to honor members of our community who we sadly lost in recent months. Together, we pay tribute to Dr. Abdullah Schleifer, Professor Emeritus of Journalism and Mass Communication, Dr. Elizabeth Sartain, Associate Professor Emerita of Arabic and Middle Eastern Studies, the Honorable Frank Wisner, Advisory Trustee, Dr. Layla Al-Baradi'i, the beloved Professor and Chair of Public Policy and Administration, and Omar Muhanna, our senior student who majored in political science. We pray for them and their families and strive to live with the same dignity, grace, and generosity they have shown us. These values are foundational to an AUC education, to be more resilient and socially responsible, and to make your work more inclusive, sustainable, and accessible, building systems that serve people and the planet. The challenges you face are real and urgent. We are witnessing profound human suffering, much of it close to home. The war in Gaza has stretched on, leaving tens of thousands of dead civilians. Entire neighborhoods have been leveled, homes, hospitals, schools, and vital infrastructure. Gaza's displaced population is starving, and the humanitarian crisis grows more dire by the day. Across our region, in Palestine, Yemen, Sudan, Lebanon, and Libya, conflict and hardship continue. This is part of the world you are working to reshape. As members of this university community, we are global citizens, grounded in the region and committed to justice. AUC has long engaged with the Palestinian cause and other regional issues through scholarship, dialogue, and critical inquiry. Over the past year, we have come together to support those affected and to host at AUC scholars and students to continue their research, teaching, and studies. We have also worked collaboratively to develop models for learning and capacity building that can be scaled to have a stronger long-term impact. What we see now is a humanitarian crisis that demands global attention and collective action. People all over the world are calling for an end to violence, for dignity, justice, and lasting peace. Your role as members of this community is to use what you have learned to think deeply, to speak thoughtfully, and act where you can. Whether addressing displacement, inequality, environmental stress, or the erosion of cultural heritage, the goal is the same: to build more just, sustainable, and inclusive societies. This will take more than technical knowledge. It requires moral clarity, long-term thinking, and the humility to listen as well as lead. It demands collaboration across disciplines, sectors, and borders. And that's a strength you carry with you. We are part of a global network of AUC alumni, leaders, inventors, scientists, educators, artists, and advocates. working to make a difference across sectors and borders. Wherever your path leads, you carry with you the skills and values that this university stands for. So as you move forward, continue to challenge assumptions and ask difficult questions. Embrace interdisciplinary collaboration. Lead with integrity. Remember that change is cumulative. It is the result of many people's work over time. And never stop learning. AUC will always be your family and home. Stay connected. Share your journey. We look forward to witnessing your future achievements and welcoming you back for reunions and collaborations. As part of our Campus 2026 expansion, we are building a technology research and innovation lab, a dynamic interdisciplinary hub that will bring together faculty, students, government, industry leaders, and global partners to tackle pressing challenges. This lab will empower new forms of discovery, where science, creativity, and ethics converge in service of society. So follow news from campus and visit regularly. Stay part of the future we are building together. Class of 2025, congratulations. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed commencement speaker, His Excellency Hassan Al-Khatib, Egypt's Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade. Minister Al-Khatib brings to this role over 3 decades of leadership in investment management, private equity, and economic development. His deep commitment to public service and strategic economic reform is matched by a remarkable career spanning the public and private sectors, from global financial institutions to national advisory bodies. His Excellency holds a bachelor's degree in civil structural engineering from Cairo University and earned his master's in business administration with highest distinction from California State University, Sacramento. He is a visiting lecturer in the Master of Finance program at Imperial College London. Throughout his career, Minister Al-Khatib has helped shape the future of investment across markets. As Managing Director for Equity at the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, he led a portfolio of up to 10 billion across 38 countries. He held senior roles at EFG Hermes and the Carlyle Group. He served as an independent board member of Egypt's Sovereign Wealth Fund and is currently a member of the Central Bank of Egypt's Monetary Public Committee. His leadership also extends to philanthropic initiatives, notably as the founder and trustee of Masr al-Khair Foundation. We are honored to welcome Minister Al-Khatib to AUC this evening. His journey exemplifies the power of interdisciplinary expertise, public-private collaboration, and a lifelong commitment to building inclusive and resilient economies. So please join me in welcoming His Excellency Hassan Al-Khatib to the podium to deliver his remarks.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you today. I never read statements, so I just have memorized some notes for myself. So I always want to speak from my heart. That's what matters. I don't know if it would work today or not. But let me start by words of thanks. Dr. Ahmed Dalal, President of the AUC, Dr. Tariq Shawqi, who's not with us now, but wanted to give him great thanks. Dr. Ihab Abdurrahman, the Provost, esteemed faculty that are actually, again, behind every success that you'd have. I think this esteemed faculty is behind it. But most importantly, the proud parents. And I had to get myself back to moments where I graduated in 88 or in 95. And I wanted to, again, congratulate you as parents for such an achievement for your lovely, lovely students. And finally, I look at your faces. As I said, I remember myself at the same moment 37 years ago in 1988 or 1995, 30 years ago, doing my master's. And I can tell you one thing, and I know what you're going through. It's the joy, it's the happiness, it's the sense of accomplishment, but you deserve it. So congratulations, really, from all of us. This is, again, a remarkable, and you're making us very, very proud, and you're making your parents and your country very proud. So today, I have to give you a confession. This is one of the most difficult speeches that I had to prepare for. My colleagues in the ministry would tell you that I go and speak because I know what I'm doing. I have a vision, I know what challenges that you're facing, so I talk about what we do. Today it was a little bit of a challenge because it's difficult, but I have my confession to all of you that I think if I need advice and wisdom, I think you would have it. Your generation is way ahead, and I would come to you for that advice. That's true. And I think what I would want to share with you today, some reflections, some observations from my career, from how I see the world changing around us. And I hope you would take some of those in your career, because we count on you to change a lot of things in the world that we're living in. But one thing I want to start with, and I want to give you, when I graduated in 1988, I've never imagined that I would be sitting in front of you giving this speech. My dreams at the time were that I would finish, and I started actually my master's in civil engineering. Immediately after graduation, I was top of my class, and I decided this is the career that I want to be in. And then a couple of years later, almost exactly 2.5 years, I had someone telling me something about an MBA. I've never heard of an MBA at that point of time, and it was very strange. But I made the quickest decision of my life when he offered me, why don't you decide, come and change and do this? You might think this is irrational, this is crazy to do, because at that time I finished my coursework, which is very difficult, so I know exactly what you've been through doing your difficult masters, and again, very sophisticated types of studies. But at that point of time, I felt, why not give it a try? And that's one of the themes of what I want you to take from at least my experience, because daring to change is something that is very important in the world that we're living in. But what world we're living in? I'll come back to that theme. It's needless to say that we're in a world that is changing. Again, this is the nicest way to say that it's changing. But I think I would call it an inflection point. Inflection point because in history, and I've been reading about history, I refreshed all my history readings in the last 12 years. And I'll go back to why. But I think we're shifting, and that transformation is from a unipolar to a multipolar. We're talking about rich versus poor. The majority is poverty across the world, which is a shame on the systems that we've developed over the last 50 years. We're talking about West versus East, very clear. We're talking about nationalism rising, but more importantly, the biggest theme that I can see that will shape your lives is that the globalization that we've enjoyed the last 3+ decades, in my view, is fading away. The globalization is a great concept because it's actually brought up efficiency, supply chain efficiency, just-in-time operations. It created the massive economies of Asia, Southeast Asia. It created China's of today. And that's what my generation have witnessed, because we had these philosophies, ideas about movement of people, movement of ideas, the cheapest production, let's put it in the best production place, and let's utilize that. But that is changing. And you know what is changing today. Today we're talking about borders. We're talking about tariffs. We're talking about dismantling international institutions, which is amazing to see. But that's the responsibility that we and you will have to carry on your shoulders, because that's the world that you are facing. But more importantly, we talk about climate change. And I think if you ask me, are we taking this seriously or not? I don't think we're taking it any seriously. If the largest economy of the world is actually bashing the ideas of climate change, so what are we talking about? But more importantly, in this age and time, we're talking about raging war in our neighborhood. Look at our borders from west, east, south, and now with the regional conflict that we're seeing, and again, the atrocities that we're seeing in Gaza, which are, again, heartfelt, devastating, to say the least. But more importantly, another theme that I think would shape up the future is technology. And you're going to be masters of that technology. We're just trying to catch up as much as we can, but you're going to be mastering that technology. When we talk about artificial intelligence and we're talking about the new things that are popping up, I think this is a new world. Two words comes to mind when we talk about a world that's changing or transforming. Uncertainty, absolutely. And that's something that we will have to deal with. In my current job, in your jobs, it is something that we'll have to deal with. But it's a major transformation. And in transformation, there are lots of opportunities. And that's my advice to you. You need to look at the bright side of how that world will shift and how can you utilize that for your own career and your own vision of your country, your company, your what you want to build. So that's one word I mentioned when you graduate and the feelings. You might have the joy, happiness, accomplishment, but you also have fear of the future, right? But fear, I don't want to say I had that fear, because we also at our time had uncertainty. Every age and time you would have uncertainty. But I think what I want you to face the realities, work at it, and the fear will become part of the journey. Part of the journey, not something that will scare you. It's actually something that will make you stronger to that effect. I stand here today when I look at you about this word fear, and to be honest, I have no fear whatsoever. Because again, I talk about your generation. I have two boys, 28 and 30 years old. And I would, again, another confession, I personally changed completely because of my two boys. I said I read all my history books again, because we are, as a generation, let me just reflect a little bit on our generation. At my time, and I'm turning 59 in a couple of months, our generation was defined by very little choices. If you're top of your class at high school, it's either engineer or a doctor. It's the way of teaching that is, in my view, take it as is. This is what we've learned in many subjects, in society, in religion, in different aspects. And you can reflect how different you are from where we are. And that's why the last 12 years, and more than that, almost 15 years, with the boys, your generation, or again, I can tell you you're a different generation. You have a deep awareness of the challenges that we're facing as a society and the world that I attest no generation had this ability. You have a bold spirit. You have that willingness to change the world. You have this strange, I mean, for your age, and again, I know you're postgraduates, but still I look at your faces, you have this sense of purpose. We've developed that sense of purpose literally after half of our careers. But you have that sense of feeling of the environment, the world, the society, that socially conscious aspect, the environmentally aware, the globally connected you are. But more importantly, you have access to information, to tools, networks, that is really unimaginable. And that's something that you'd have to think of. But you also have the vision, the voice, and the values. And for me, that makes you very, very powerful force. But with force comes responsibility. Let me talk, and again, you know about this topic more than I am, but I'm reading a lot. I'm just trying to learn, because one aspect of life is you have to keep learning. Artificial intelligence, you know more, as I said, but I read more. Again, I see the negatives and the positive of how people talk about artificial intelligence and how it's revolutionizing industries, reshaping the job markets, challenging the way we think, learn, create. Again, it's uncertainty versus possibility. But I think it's for you, it's a possibility. You can do with that a lot of things. You can multiply your efficiency. You can build and analyze, innovate, problem solve faster than ever. And as I said, if you read and you see what is happening, you can see the potential of that tool. You can reach across continents with a click. You can turn an idea into a startup. 37 years ago, that word startup did not exist. Trust me, that is a very new concept. You have a voice. Your voice, you turn it into a movement with a click of a button as well. All of these tools amplify massively your potential. That's why I started with, if I need an advice, I will come and ask you for advice. So my first reflection on my career, and again, it's by no means something that I will put, but I'll put it for you. It's courage and dare to change. Don't be fearful of change. Change is good. As I said, I was an engineer. When I took that call and said, why don't you come join for an advisory, for a financial advisory? Okay, I said yes. I don't know why I did that decision. And I dropped my dissertation. And at the time, everyone told me, you're crazy. You can imagine, your parents, you worked very hard. I had an acceptance at that point of time from, again, a PhD program at Michigan Ann Arbor. I had that acceptance letter. But then you open that door, again, fear, why not? Accepting 30% of the salary I used to make at that point of time, and that's a reality. And then you discover, as an engineer, wow, the world is much bigger than the drawing boards of an engineer. And again, you start to think, wow, had I kept myself into this, there's no harm in continuing to be in that field, but I opened that door for myself. And I told, at the time, it was my fiancée, who accepted all my crazy decisions, all my career, and thanks to her, she's here. But again, it's amazing. All I'm telling you is, please don't fear of change. Change is very good. Change, every career move I've taken, and people told me it's irrational, it created and opened a lot of doors for me. Today, I'm not an engineer anymore, but I have my engineering background, my analytical skills. So when I am taking this job today, and I was speaking to the provost before the session, because of my engineering background, I analyze every and each problem. I know today I can tell you what are the challenges on each and every policy we have today, on the fiscal side, on the trade side, on how to fix the economy. That's the beauty about engineering. So I didn't lose my engineering degree. It is part of me, it's part of my DNA. But as I said, I want you to take this, embrace change. And more importantly, the second word I want you to put in your career, don't be fearful as a one person that you can make a difference. Trust me, you can. And again, I'm talking as a one person, there is no judgment, again. I managed in my career 2 major transformations. I was one voice when I started this, and one in a big corporate here in Egypt, and in the last 12 years in one of the largest international financial institutions. Being one voice with a very articulated vision and consistency and working hard, you can change organizations. You can. And you can change society as well. So don't be fearful of change, and that's my first, at least, remark, a reflection on my career. But again, before I leave that point, and again I started with the changing world, I want you to think the daunting task that we would give to you as a generation, as postgraduates, as the smartest that actually ventured into postgraduates. In the world that I described to all of you, I hope you would help us rethink how we live. I mentioned the poverty levels, the vast difference between the rich and poor, which is a shame on the systems that we've created over the past 50, 70 years. We need you to think how to care for the planet, how to redesign our systems that excluded too many for too long, how to redefine success. And that's how your DNA is, not on what you achieved, but how you uplift others along the way. So I put on you a major responsibility, but as I started with, I'm very confident that you are up to this. The second theme that I would want to leave with you, life is not going to be always easy. As you can see from even my career, your career will never be a straight line. It will have a lot of bounces, ups and downs. And I'm assuring you, it's assured that you will have rejections and you will have failure. These are the things that will make you stronger. For every rejection and failure, you need to understand this will make me stronger. But what will carry you and help you navigate these two normal patterns in your career is one thing. It's faith. And that's what helped me. I mean, life will throw boulders at you, difficulties at you. Have faith. Have faith in yourself, more importantly than anything. Have faith in the process, understanding that these failures and rejections are part of the journey. It's part of it. It's, again, I'm sorry to say, it's part of the fun. If it's easy all the way, it's not going to be enjoyable. But more importantly, faith that you will stand up again and you can do it because of, again, the strong education, your strong will that will help you. So faith, in my view, will help you endure, will give you the wisdom to accept and the resilience to rise again. The other theme that I would want to keep and leave with you as a reflection, and the last 12 years I've lived in London, and my boys are living outside Egypt for the past 12, 13 years as well. Your identity is, our identity is unique. Cherish your identity. Don't change for others. Our uniqueness is actually our identity. Our superpower is actually our identity. And that's something I would hope you carry in your careers, because that's very important. In what we're seeing today in the world that, again, unfortunately is unfolding with the, again, what we discovered, the double face, or at least the hypocrisy that we're seeing, sticking to principles, sticking to our identity is something that is very important. But more importantly, the second reflection, be grounded. Be grounded to your roots, to your family, to your land, to your country. That's really what matters. It's very important to be grounded. And the third reflection that again, it helped me in my career is that you have to consciously think whom you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with people that give you positivity, that will help you as a person, will help your mind to focus on the right thing going forward. And I can tell you an example as well on my career, and again, it's not a reflection. And similar to many of our generations, at a certain point of time, possibly it's 2001, 2002, so it's almost 25 years ago. And at the time, I remember very well, my generation was very negative about Egypt. Oh, no, there is no hope, there is nothing we can do. And then it was a program, it was a mini MBA that we had in Egypt at the time, and it was a group of 30 Egyptians. And it was a program of a year and a half or something like that. And in that year and a half, 2002, one thing I came out with, that we as 30 people decided to change our perception. It's the glass half full, not the glass half empty. And we as a group, again, each in his own company, carrying their own career, decided, let's be positive about Egypt. That's what we decided. 30 people, again, we never knew each other before, but it's amazing the power of ideas, the power of positivity. Again, out of that, we created many entities, that group of people. The Egyptian Junior Business Association, which became one of the most active business association in this country, thanks to the younger youth. It's again, we put it as a criteria. It's age between 25 and 45. And every 2 years, you change the president. So we had a governance system that created this positivity in society. Out of that association, many of the existing association, the Competitiveness Council, the research units, spun off of this idea, which is, again, it was about be positive for your country and try to do your best. Again, I can mention other institutions like the Egyptian Private Equity Association. And my personal pride, when we decided in 2007, a group of people, let's do institutional charity in a different way. It was an idea. Literally, it was an idea, sitting in a small room. Let's create an institution that would do, not charity, development organization, applying the best practice in the world, which became Masr al-Khair, which makes me very proud. It's just like my son. And I can tell you, the days we spend, and I always was the voice of governance, being member of the founding board and the association, is that it's always what is the best standard, best in class in terms of governance that we have to apply, and we're still applying it today. One other reflection I want you to have with you, enjoy the journey. Your career, you could focus on the next step, the next move, the next title, next promotion, that's fine. But please enjoy the journey. Enjoy every moment. And the one who's telling you this is the new person has changed over the past 12, 13 years. Really enjoy it. Life, it's not about the mountaintop. It's about reaching that, the journey to do this. Last year I've done something, before I took this job, I did a cycling tour. It was a week in Europe, 700 kilometers. And the peak day was actually a climax where with the cycle, we do 2,000 meters of climb. So I was hoping to get to the top of the mountain. But as you reach there, you're tired like hell, and it's crazy cold. But the day itself, 9 hours of cycling, was such an enjoyable, because that's the sense of achievement, enjoying with the friends that you're cycling with. So again, take your career with that sense of that you need to do, enjoy the journey to that moment. But more importantly, celebrate successes, breathe along the way. Celebrate with your family, your loved ones, your sibling. This is part of the journey. And today, as again, I mentioned my age already, so I don't want to remind myself again, what is success? When I ask myself, what is success for me? You will be surprised. I thought about it a lot the last 2-3 days. I would hope that my parents would say, I'm a good son. Really, that's my top priority. I hope my wife to say, I'm a good husband. I hope my sons would say, I'm a good father. I hope my friends would say, I'm a good friend. I hope my fellow Egyptian would say, I did my best for Egypt, really, as a social citizen. And what is my impact on the society? That's what I see my success. I don't see it anything else. So, as I'm trying to wrap up, stand up here today looking at you, postgraduates, the smartest of the smart. I feel one thing. I have faith on you. I don't know, but that's my gut feel. I always carry that with me, that I hope you will fix this broken world. A lot of responsibility, but I think you're up to it. I hope you will build what is missing that we've missed in our generation. that you would lead, and I know you will do, with empathy, humility, and strength. You're both the future and the present. And I would hope that you would help in this journey, not only the world, but our beloved country, Egypt, because it deserves much better from all of us. And finally, thank you. So at least I'm trying. I told myself I have to try to do that for my country, Egypt. But finally, I want to conclude really. The final remarks I want to leave you, please remember this. Try to be grounded in your career. Material stuff doesn't matter. Being closer to your beloved ones, family, this is what matters. Be grounded. Don't lose your identity and dare to change. Trust me, change is very good. Change is good, and you will change the world. Have faith. That's what will make you stronger. Be in fact impactful, courageous, and enjoy the journey. Congratulations, class of 2025. Thank you very much. It has been an honor.
Page 17. Thank you, Rach. So, thank you, Minister Al-Khatib, for these inspiring words. And this year, Zina Ali, who is a candidate for the degree of Master of International Human Rights Law and Justice, will bring a message from the graduating class. Welcome to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. President Al-Leil, faculty, friends, and fellow graduates. It's hard to stand here and say something that captures what this moment truly feels like. Because while we celebrate, while we take photos in our robes and hold our breath waiting for our names to be called, there's also a quiet weight in the air. The weight of forging new paths in a world that feels, frankly, very old and very tired. We are graduating into a world unraveling. In that context, it's easy to become numb. But we did not. Our presence here as graduate students is indicative of exactly that. All of us have been students before and are no strangers to the challenges of dedicating your time to learning. But we deliberately chose to do this. To make the commitment and be here, regardless of the full, busy adult lives we lead and the adult responsibilities we carry. It would have been far easier to succumb to the status quo, to fear the instability of the world that lies ahead, to grow disillusioned, to shrink, but we have not. And that's because somehow, within this world, we all had something in common. We had AUC. AUC didn't give us the perfect answer or a simple path out of this discomfort. What it gave us, what it gave me, was space. Space to think freely, speak openly, and question everything. In a world built more on questions than answers, this university has been as gracious and as generous as any institution can be, offering us room to imagine, explore, and critique. We were taught that it's okay to not always be certain, that it's okay to go back to the drawing board, rework our thoughts, our opinions, our theses, that it's okay to not always be comfortable. I definitely wasn't. But we were encouraged to keep asking, to keep pushing, and most of all, keep showing up with both conviction and care. Because the professors here weren't just scholars. They were people. They taught with urgency, with fire, but also with kindness. They modeled what it meant to be engaged intellectually and emotionally. It's why I can't even begin to choose a single discipline to follow, because I've fallen in love with too many. Law, politics, anthropology, philosophy, comparative religion, I want them all, because I've seen how beautifully interconnected they are when taught with heart. AUC modeled what learning is not about the black and white, the obvious answers. It's about building a life that refuses easy ones, one that is dynamic and does not fear the gray area. And so my hope is to continue into academia, not as a way of hiding from the world, but as a way of staying in constant conversation with it, to teach, to learn, and to remain accountable to the world beyond the classroom. Because my experience here showed me the effects of creating a space where growing was inseparable from inquiry, the effects of being invited into continuous conversation with ideas, with each other, and with the world we hope to shape. This is not arbitrary or haphazard. If we were taught to think critically, it was so we could at least teach others to do the same. If we were encouraged to question power, it was so we could learn how to resist it. Learning here was never passive, and now neither are we. This is my hope for all of us here today. To honor this process of learning, to continue this practice of sitting with complexity, of challenging power, of making sense of the contradictions we live in, to teach, to resist, write, organize, or simply hold space for others, wherever we go, no matter how divisive the world around us gets. To my fellow graduates, we are inheriting a world on fire, but we are not powerless. We have the tools, and more than that, we have each other. Let's protect the spaces that allow people to think freely. Let's build these spaces deliberately in all the fractured places that need defending. Let's carry what we found here: curiosity, courage, compassion into every room we enter and make room for others to do the same. Thank you to every professor who changed my life without even realizing it. Thank you to my parents, my husband, for trusting me when I couldn't trust myself. And thank you, AUC, for giving me, for giving all of us, the rare freedom to evolve with intention. Congratulations, class of 2012. We move forward with open eyes and full hearts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zaina, for this inspiring address. And now we would like to present 3 graduate student awards. I invite the Provost Abdurrahman and President Dalal to the table to present them. So the first one is the 25th of January Award. It was established in May 2011 at AUC by the Graduate Advisory Council for the purpose of commemorating the achievements of Egyptian activists who contributed to the extension of civil and political rights in Egypt and the Arab world during the period following January 25th, 2011. The award recognizes an AUC graduate students for an outstanding thesis work on a topic related to democracy, human rights, citizenship, or sustainable development in the Middle East and North Africa. This year's winner is Abdelrazik Abu Layla. His thesis is titled The Everyday Practices of Dialysis and Kidney Transplant in Egypt. He was supervised by Dr. Hanan Sabah, Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Egyptology. Mr. Abu Layla earned his Master in Arts in Sociology, Anthropology in July 2024. Mabruk. The second award is the Magna Al-Wahi Graduate Student Award in Gender Studies. The award was established in 2003 to fulfill Al-Nawahi's visionary dream of a regional and lasting commitment to the field of gender studies. The award recognizes an AUC graduate student for outstanding thesis work in any discipline that focuses on gender studies. This year's winner is Osama Amir. His thesis is titled Negotiating the Canon, Arab Women, Romantic Poets Jamila El-Alayli and Zahra Al-Hur. And he was supervised by Dr. Dina Hishmat at the Department of Arab and Islamic Civilizations. And Mr. Amir is graduating tonight with a Master of Arts in Arabic Studies. Congratulations. The final award is the Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Lahdan Endowed Graduate Award. It was established by the late Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Karim Al-Lahdan to recognize a science or engineering graduate student who demonstrated excellence in their studies and who has the best publication record. This year's winner is Ali Abdel Fattah Al-Sayed, who is graduating tonight with a Master of Global Public Health. Congratulations.
Mr. President, the Excellence in Academic Performance Awards are presented at the commencement ceremony to faculty members who have excelled in their academic performances and who have gone far and beyond the call of duties. It gives me great pleasure to recognize these faculty members tonight. The award for excellence in research and creative endeavors is given to a faculty member who has demonstrated a distinguished record of past and continuing excellence in research and creative endeavors, and their work must be recognized nationally and internationally. I am pleased to announce that this year's award goes to Dr. Tamer El-Bat, Professor of Computer Science and Engineering, Professor of Computer Science and Engineering in the School of Sciences and Engineering. Another Faculty Merit Awards will be presented at the upcoming undergraduate commencement ceremony. The Excellence in Academic Service Award is established to recognize the full-time faculty outstanding performance in supporting their communities to reach their full potential. This year's award is going to Dr. Huda Mustafa, Professor of Practice and the Director of the Center of Learning and Teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of the university faculty, I now present our candidates for the PhDs in Applied Sciences. Each of the candidates passed a comprehensive examination and successfully presented and defended his or her research thesis. Dr. Lutfi Gafar, Dean of the School of Sciences and Engineering, will come forward for the holding of the candidates. Manar Zaki, Registrar, will call the names of the candidates who are present to receive their PhD degrees. The other candidates listed in the program would receive their degrees in absentia. We remind the graduates that you are to remain in your seats until the last graduate has received their degree as a matter of respect for your classmates.
For the degree of Doctorate of Philosophy in Applied Sciences, Rowan Bahauddin Abdel Bari. Diana Girgis Sami.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of the university faculty, I now present the candidates from the ONSI Sawiris School of Business for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of International Management /SAMS, and Master of Science. Each candidate has completed the rigorous requirements for the master's degrees prescribed by the faculty. Dean Sharif Kamel, Dean of the School of ONSI Sawiris, Dean of the ONSI Sawiris School of Business, will come forward for the holding of the candidates. The registrar will call the names of the candidates who are present to receive their degrees. The other candidates listed in the program will receive their degrees in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Economics, Bigad Amr Hassan. Mariam Amr Sabban. Noor Muhammad Al Ghurab. For the degree of Master of Arts in Economics and International Development, Salma Bofolos. Thomas James Smitherman. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Amr Muhammad Rida Nasr. Asser Ayman Youssef. Dunya Tariq Ibrahim. Eveline Nabil Ghattas. كريم سامح الشاذلي. مريم محمد فوم. مازن أحمد أبو الغنم. محمد علي حسين. محمد الحسيني السيد. محمد شريف جمعة. منى محمود عبد المنصف. مصطفى عادل حسن. ندى محمد رفاعي. ربى محمد بركات. زينة محمد سرور. For the degree of Master in International Management, Hassan al-Rashidi. Jasmine Osama al-Gindi. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Karim Khaled Hussein.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of the university faculty, I now present our candidates from the School of Global Affairs and Public Policy for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Global Affairs, Master of Laws in International and Comparative Law, Master of Public Administration, and Master of Public Policy. Each candidate has completed the rigorous requirements for the master's degrees prescribed by the faculty. Dr. Noha El-Mikkawi, Dean of the School of Global Affairs and Public Policy, will come forward for the holding of the candidates. The registrar will call the names of the candidates who are present to receive their degrees. The other candidates listed in the program will receive their degrees in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Arts in International Human Rights Law and Justice, Zaina Hisham Ali. For the degree of Master of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication, Hibatullah Abdel Fattah Ashur. Muhammad Salim. Noor Alaa Abdel Qadir. For the degree of Master of Arts in Middle East Studies, Mariam Hamid Mabrouk. For the degree of Master of Arts in Migration and Refugee Studies, Anouk Pelletier de Chambure. Majida Abdin Al-Mahasna. Nicholas Justin Leon. For the degree of Master of Arts in Television and Digital Journalism, Basmala Muhammad Mahmoud. Ruwaida Beher Rashwan. For the degree of Master of Global Affairs, Farida Osama Khalafallah. Shuruq Muhammad Khafagi. For the degree of Master of Laws in International and Comparative Law, Abdurrahman Mustafa Fayyad. Ahmed Sameh Fahmi. Dina Sharif Abdurrahman. Faris Mahmoud Abdel Hamid. For For the degree of Master of Public Administration, Magda Suwaisi. يمنى عادل فؤاد. For the degree of Master of Public Policy, سارة عادل الجوهري.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of the university faculty, I now present our candidates from the School of Humanities and Social Sciences for the degrees of Master of Arts. Each candidate has completed the rigorous requirements for the master's degrees prescribed by the faculty. Dr. John Miloy, Dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, will come forward for the holding of the candidates. The registrar will call the names of the candidates who are present to receive their degrees. The other candidates listed in the program will receive their degrees in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Arts in Arabic Studies, Jonathan Hearn. Mathieu Grégoire Palayret. أسامة إبراهيم عامر. For the degree of Master of Arts in Comparative Middle East Politics and Society, Minan Bahir Hassanin. For the degree of Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology, David Meher Barsoum. Maha Edward Salib. مروة فهمي سويدان. سابرينا علي عبد الله. سلمى معتصم صيام. شريف حاتم فخر. زياد علي مراد. For the degree of Master of Arts in Educational Leadership, Marina Nader Yunan. مروة محفوظ عمارة. يسرى أسامة فتح الله. يسرى محمد السعيدي. For the degree of Master of Arts in English and Comparative Literature, Malak Khaled Hosni. مايكل نادر يعقوب. يارا عبد المنعم. For the degree of Master of Arts in International and Comparative Education, أمل محمد المعزاوي. حنان محمد مطاوع. رانيا محمود نافع. For the degree of Master of Arts in Political Science, علياء مجدي أبو طيرة. For the degree of Master of Arts in Sociology Anthropology, ريم الحسن محمد. For the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching Arabic as a Foreign Language, غادة رمضان عبد العال. For the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, مروة عديل الفقي.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, on behalf of the university faculty, I now present to you our candidates from the School of Sciences and Engineering for the degrees of Master of Engineering, Master of Science, and Master of Global Public Health. Each candidate has completed the rigorous requirements for the master's degree prescribed by the faculty. Dr. Lotfi Gafar, Dean of the School of Sciences and Engineering, will come forward for the holding of the candidates. The registrar will call the names of the candidates who are present to receive their degrees. The other candidates listed in the program will receive their degrees in absentia.
For the degree of Master of Science in Biotechnology, Ines Bayrakdar. محمد أديمي أجعبي. For the degree of Master of Science in Chemistry, Nada Magdi Ali. For the degree of Master of Science in Computer Science, Mariam Lutfi Gafar. ميرنا هشام البستار. سارة عبد العزيز السنجرجي. For the degree of Master of Science in Construction Engineering, Miral Mohammed Selim. محمد مدحت. عمر وائل عمار. سمر مصطفى نديم. For the degree of Master of Science in Electronics and Communications Engineering, شروق رأفت أبو عماشة. For the degree of Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, عبد الرحمن عمرو سلطان. For the degree of Master of Science in Nanotechnology, داليا محمد قناعة. دانيا مصطفى عبد الدايم. For the degree of Master of Science in Physics, مروة إبراهيم سليم. عمر مظهر خلف. For the degree of Master of Science in Sustainable Development, Ashaba Jr. مصعب عبد الحميد نصر. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Electronics and Communications Engineering, سموندا مخلص سمعان. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Petroleum Engineering, عبد الكريم محمد سند. For the degree of Master of Global Public Health, علياء عبد الفتاح السيد. منة الله يوسف الشربيني. رانيا أحمد سليمان. and Shaza Haney Shanation.
All graduates, please stand. by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of the faculty, I confirm on you the degrees of Doctorate of Philosophy, Masters of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Engineering, Master of Global Affairs, Master of Global Public Health, Master of International Management, Master of Laws, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Policy, and Master of Science, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Mabruk.
Congratulations to the class of spring 2025. So the AUC song has been a long-standing part of our commencement ceremonies, and today's rendition is performed by the Cairo Choral Society, an organization affiliated with the Department of the Arts, and recorded and edited by Ahmed Rifai, a graduate of our music technology program. Please stand and join us and the class of 2025 in the singing of the AUC song, and you will find the lyrics on the screen.
Okay. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed the event. And now the formal festivities are concluded. Congratulations to the graduates and their families and friends. We are proud of you all, and we look forward to your great success. Redeem the investment that your families and AUC have made in you, and you will help to build a peaceful, prosperous, just, and sustainable world. We wish you all the best of everything. We would like to remind you to please remain seated until the procession leaves the auditorium. Thank you very much. Congratulations.